Bring me everyone.
You mean everyone?
Everyone! Yes. I don't get it.
Get away from her, you bitch!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We made it past probably the shittiest day of the week, and we're one step closer to the weekend. Well, I'm excited for tonight's show because I am joined by my co-host, and then we also have a special guest. So first, I'm going to bring on my buddy, my partner in crime. Let's go over to, let's see. I'm terrible at controls, so we don't know who's going to pop up. So let's just see.
Oh, it's
everybody pops up.
You ruined it.
Big reveal.
You
blew
Big
it.
reveal.
We should
I
just
was
blow
telling
it.
everybody how shitty I am at these controls, and I am. So
You were correct.
Anyway, big reveal. It's Toy Gains, but first we'll go through the line. Victor is my co-host. If you guys are new here, he's my buddy. Victor, how's your week going?
I don't want to really bring it down, but this morning, not only was it Monday, but I had a death in the family. So I'm just gonna keep going smiling.
All right.
Okay.
Next, Toy Gains. How's your week going?
I can't top that. I was gonna say I think I have ED. I don't know if that'll top a death in the family, but that sucks too, you know.
That does.
Yeah.
There's ways to fix that.
Yes, there's pills.
There's no way to fix death.
No, that's irreversible.
Yeah. What's up, everybody in chat? So, Gaines, thanks for joining today. We were talking a little bit before. I said, like, me and Victor, we've been at this a couple months, and it's been fun. I think Victor and I have very different channels, and but we're friends outside, so we thought it would be cool to just like shoot the shit on Tuesdays, and
There you go.
you know, I think Victor, you might have been like, why Tuesdays? And Gaines and I were talking about it before, but there's really not a lot of live streams happening on Tuesdays, and not that our audience is like big or anything, but
I didn't want to say
that. But it just seemed like if there was a fighting chance, and we're gonna keep plugging because it's just fun. And then I don't get to see Victor too much in real life, but we did get to hang out this weekend. But other than that, Victor, there might be some people watching that have not seen your show. So why don't you give a little introduction to Gaines, and then we'll let Gaines give an introduction to who might be watching from our end.
Sounds good. I'm seeing people go up in the comments, some names we have seen before, which thank you all for being here. Some new names that I hope Gaines has probably brought. But I'm Victor. I am the GEN Xperience. I am all about anything, everything, pop culture, toys, movies, TV that happened in that growing up in that perfect Gen X spot. So that is my channel. I publish every Thursday night, and we'll say at the end of the show what I'm doing next. But yeah, so I did want to say, Thomas, that today I got a comment on our last show we did, and it was so nice. It was just one. It was the one that goes. It streams on my site as well, and I got this comment that said, "Nice intro." So I had to give us both mad props since we worked on it together. So
With my
come see
very
the GEN
limited
Xperience, folks.
My very limited editing skills. Gaines, tell us your shtick. I know you met Victor like 2 seconds before everything started.
Victor, chat. I go by Gaines, Toy Gaines. I am just a schmuck in his garage. I mean, and I mean that in an endearing way. My shtick is just being me. I want people to come along for the ride. Most of them agree. I think I found my audience, and I'm very grateful for that. But I never wanted this to feel like a job. You can get paid. I know, Thomas, you hit 5,000 subs. Congrats. Getting that little YouTube paycheck is awesome. I get like $100 every 2 months. I'll take it. But I never wanted this to feel like a job. And I kept everything to a minimum. My editing, I'm very low budget because it's just for fun, right? I just want to buy a toy, tell you about it. If we vibe, if we like it, if we disagree, all that is fine. And that's pretty much it. And the relationship with Jerk and now Jersey and now all these people I'm meeting and growing with has just been a bonus and a plus. You know what I mean?
You're very
Yeah,
lucky. I'm sorry, Tom. You're very lucky, Gaines, because like you just described something. Oh, hey there, I'm getting a drink. Thank you.
Oh,
Magical.
like that.
You're very lucky because, like you just said, low key, low editing, garage, and whether or not you make a lot of money or not, I didn't go into this to make money. I ended up doing it. And that's fantastic. But I am so hardcore into like edit a masterpiece of production value. And I still don't always get the payoff I want, but
Yes.
still not a job to me. It's a desire. It's still a desire. It's still a passion project, but still I'm putting way too much time into that.
Well, right. I mean, you could drive yourself crazy. I do a little editing in the iMovie, but I can only imagine if you're really, some people put a lot of effort. And as you said, sometimes you don't get that payoff, but if you're still having fun and it's an art, right? So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, up until YouTube, I think the most I edited was like a family vacation photo album on iMovie.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of it. So like I have very limited skills. Like I'm learning as I go, but I think when I first started, you kind of look at the people that are doing it like up here and you're like, you're comparing yourself and it's not a fair comparison. So I think just fitting what you can do with your skills and then making it work. Gaines, I'll be honest, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. I don't watch toy reviews. I really only watch you and I watch Jerk, and I don't care what the toy is.
Yes.
I'm just hanging out. Like I like hearing what you're saying, and that's part of the reason I asked you to be on the show. And you kind of said it before. You can have like shit on the screen, and it's like I just want to hear you. I want to hear you riff. I want to hear you just like I'm in the room with you, like you're talking to me.
He likes the sound of your voice.
Yeah, well, I'd like to. People you can have that person at work or someone you have to deal with that gets on your nerves, but I try and make connections with every person I interact with. If you spend more than 5 minutes with someone, I want to at least get a tiny connection. And then my best videos are usually when I'm just not talking about the toy and the toy just happens to be there. But it's like, I don't always want to like bring all my real life stuff into every video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to sprinkle it in, like not like I don't want like anyone on the internet knowing my whole life, but like I like to sprinkle in like little tidbits of like, because it is part of your personality, right? So it's just like, what can I give that won't get me doxxed or like things like that.
I know, man. It's and there's not a lot of nuance if people don't really know you. You might say something you just happen to say and you don't know if it's like good or bad sometimes. So it's a balancing act too when you're going off the cuff and not just talking about the toy.
Yeah. I'll get into like a little funny tidbit before we started this live stream. Victor's on a different corner of YouTube. And I was telling him like, hey, I really want to do this like live stream thing. And he's like, how long should we do it for? And I was like, well, people go for hours. And he's like,
yes,
I'm out.
Hours. We were trying to get within the hour. I think we've been going a little over just because the conversations have been like evolving. But I was telling him, I was like, you don't understand, Victor. I was like, in my corner of YouTube, there's multiple live streams going on. And depending on where the conversation goes, you're talking 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And there's times I've sat there and watched the whole thing.
Oh my God, that's so insane to me though, because I have turned on a live stream, tried so hard, and although they're talking for a minute about something, then someone just tangents about, I don't know, their underwear, and it's just I'm like, I'm bored of you, and I'm bored of you, and I go, and it is totally just me. It's not my thing. I love doing this. We chat about it, but I'm always shocked anyone comes back to watch it.
It's funny you say that. I pride myself. One thing going into doing a live stream, I told Jerk, if we have shows where it's just constant dead air and there's nothing there, then I'm out. This has to not only be organic, but we have to like have a chemistry. And thank God it's worked out because it can get awkward, and I'm having such a good time. And I know what you're saying though. You pop on a live stream. Some things I don't care about. I don't find interesting. So to keep the audience engaged, it's can be a responsibility almost.
We don't have dead time, so we're happy, and we've hit that hour 15 90-minute mark, and it's not been bad. I will say at the end of 90, I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. Yes, we all work too. And so
I am the old man, but yes.
Victor, we're going to 2 hours tonight, just so you know.
Oh baby,
Locked in. I'm gonna take a photo like this.
You know what? I like, it's so weird because this is on screen, whatever, talking for fun. Like, I'm sure Victor, like, we do this shit all day for work. Like, just there's lots of awkward silence for work, and you're just like, hey, we need to talk serious business here. And then imagine those like long awkward silences where you're just like, usually that long awkward silence for work means like someone fucked up.
Sure.
So it's like here, I had no problem keeping the conversation going. It's like you just want to, I mean, we riff off each other all the time. We give each other a hard time. You know, the whole premise of, I think, why we started this. I'm a little younger, from the millennial generation.
Mhm.
Victor is from the Gen X, and we've had friendly arguments of my era of Star Wars is better, my era of G.I. Joe is better, and then vice versa.
Sure.
So that's kind of how this started.
Good debates.
Yeah.
So
the topic of today we'll get into, but we always start off with what we picked up. So before we do, if you guys have anything that you want to show off, get it out. And then
Behold my stuff.
Gaines, you're the guest. Do you have anything this week?
I have what I could best describe is a guy lost his shit and he's just angry and he's in a get up. This is Crazy Legs from Classified.
Oh yeah.
And the rub here is he's screaming. And I know a lot of people aren't happy about that, but I like it when a figure has emotion. Do I want all my figures screaming at the top of their lungs? No. But if you have that gun in the air, it looks like he's pumped and ready to go fight Cobra. So I'm cool with it. And Classified continues to be a fun toy line. And I dig it. I love the Classified.
But isn't that what your face would look like if you were friggin'
Jumping out of a plane?
down a fucking plane.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have made his guns like.
Classified is so good. I didn't know I'd get into it as much, but I really have. It's amazing. But I'm always complaining about extra hands, so many extra hands, but that's a figure I'd like an extra face because I would like, and that's fine. I like what you said. Absolutely. If you're going to hold the gun up, you're not going,
yes. Like everyone's just right or stoic or smiling. So I like that it had that facial expression. I'd love another one. I kind of wish they do some more faces that were kind of smug. Yes.
Smolder attitude.
I agree.
I would like to see a little bit more like Joe's. I really would.
Yep. I agree.
We were it's funny because we were talking just Victor is a very calm collector. I'd say he is very sticks in his box, and I have the illness. Gaines, I think you kind of do too.
I have more pickups. It's very bad over here.
Did you want to show off more? You got more?
I got one more. This one, I'm not a Transformer freak. I'm a freak, but I'm not like, I love my G1, right? So, and I love the small guys that had like attitude that would kick ass, Brawn, and of course Hound. So I couldn't pass him up. There's certain characters I could buy over and over again, and I have to have the newest edition of them. So I was glad to grab Hound, and I think I will probably get into that as the show goes on. I'm a purist with the original designs, and I think they're unbeatable. So we will discuss that as the night goes on.
Real quick though, Hound, what is that? He looked cartoon-esque. Was it Studio Series? Was it what is?
I think it's. I'm so bad with the Transformers is off the rails in my opinion. It has to be Studio Series.
Yeah,
he's like 6 inches. Like they made Brawn and they made Bumblebee in that exact packaging. Yeah. I have those as well.
I do like what you said. I am exactly the same way with the part about the original design. I want it to look the most like the original design I remember well from the G1. So
Yeah.
I have a huge collection. And so when they came out with the new Braun, I was like, well, replace my old one. Got to get this Braun because Braun looks
Yes.
better. The one I remember, the one that I
Right.
mentally in my head said, that's Braun.
I love when the vehicle part is just like his. You could totally see it's a Jeep's hood, and you see the headlights. I don't like when things look messy and hidden. So I love those chunky, bulky
like
designs.
Bay movies, you know, because that's what he
Mucked
did.
it up.
He just took them and didn't give them the familiarity we all wanted to see anyway.
I can't stand it.
No.
I have also explained to Victor that in our corner of YouTube, the hands, there's tons of people that do photography.
Right. Which is cool. I'd like to do it, but I get why.
Yeah.
He's like, I just don't want to. I mean, I have buckets, and I mean, we all do buckets and
Buckets
bins
of
and drawers, and then you have to buy like tackle boxes and all this other shit.
You buy these tackle boxes, and really, if I could start over, I would have, left hands, right hands, female hands, hands with gloves on. It can go on and on. It's nuts. So yes.
If I could start over, I'd be a lot better at organizing, because right now, when I kick the bucket, whoever has to go through and rearrange all this, I should probably start working on that now.
I know it's sad, but you might have to, because it's a lot.
We're going to talk about our pickups in a second, but I'm going to rant about we both had events. All three of us had events this weekend.
Yeah.
I've been a defender of MegaCon for a while, because I always go and I find something there. It is, if it's not the biggest con, it's getting there. I think it's rivaling New York City Comic-Con, which I think attendance wise has more than San Diego. We get no releases. We get a lot of celebrities, but we get no big announcements from movies, shows, toy companies, nothing. But there's still the fun of the hunt there. Victor and I went. I'd say we both had a good time just because we were hanging out. As far as toy pickups, the show sucked.
Really? When you say define suck, just not a lot of variety, or prices were too high?
You go first.
Like, I had a list of things. I'm like, I just want to find it. And if I find it in person, I'm buying it. Victor, who has a really, tight bubble of what he'll collect, he had a list, and we both could not find shit. So Victor, I'll let you go, and I'll talk to you. So I know you picked up one item.
I did.
But I don't know.
I used to go to MegaCon in the 90s and then the early 2000s, and I watched it grow and change and become lots more anime, which turned me off. But I'd go for the floor. And I went for the floor because I wanted to see those thrift stores. I wanted to see those little boxes, those cubes of men that just had tons of old shit, and I loved it. So now I think we were finding one of those stores every 12 booths. Every 12 booths you found a garage sale, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the box of Brave Star, and I wanted the box of Mazinga for $600. I wanted to see that.
Yeah,
but I had a list. There wasn't one mask item, Mobile Armored Strike Command. There wasn't one, not one mask item. I even asked a guy, and he said, "Oh, we left it in New York." And I'm like, "That's dumb. We're getting the same crap everywhere you go." And then I was really looking for some grails, and there's no chance. And then I got to just avoid every kid with blonde spiky hair and a girl with a raccoon tail, which is fun to watch. But at the same time, I was there for toys. I did pick up something though. So
let's see it.
All right. So, Master Universe Origins, the vintage collection is mine, not the cartoon collection. So here I have the vintage collection. But when I was there, I don't know what made me do it, because I usually just stay with characters that were released in 1982 through 1987 for them, the first year. But I really did like, this is a Vicor. So this was that, obviously the conceptual.
Yep.
This is the one that, for everyone out there who doesn't know, one of the concepts is they brought up that, hey, this He-Man character could be sci-fi space guy, military guy, or barbarian. And actually, so I picked him up at a really good price. He's beautiful. He is from, I think, the Masterverse. But speaking of hands, this thing comes with just a buttload of stuff. Yep. And great. I love it. I actually changed them all into both to take a quick look. But this is my guy. So
me too.
Love me a little Vicor there. So pretty cool. That's what I got. The one thing.
We both were walking around. We're like, we're going to spend some money. Damn it.
We were ready. We had money.
Yeah. Is that all you got, Victor?
That's all I got.
That's not good if you're willing to spend money and putting the word mega in front of con is really setting expectations high, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
putting a lot of pressure on yourself as a showrunner.
Celebrities,
They had so many celebrities
Anime.
and panels though, but
anime
Did you
up
see,
the wazoo.
not my thing.
It's funny. Right before I came on the show, I saw now. I don't love her takes. Oh, I'm over the whole every movie sucks thing with YouTube. I'm just tired of that narrative. But she looks great in cosplay. This Snarky J lady was there. Did you see her?
I didn't see her. I know her. I know her from her.
Yeah, she was
Yeah, I know
there.
of her.
So when you mentioned you were at MegaCon, the two things I was like, oh, I wonder if he met Snarky J because I guess she's from Florida.
No, I know of her. I don't really like her either.
We did
But,
from people
Yeah, I don't like her takes, but I like her in the Wonder Woman costume.
I
So
was gonna say
only-
I would like to see her in costume.
yes, she
mentioned
was.
cakes, though. He did. Thomas mentioned some cakes while we were walking, so you know.
There was
male
who do you
gaze.
think- there was the orange. There was the orange girl. You didn't know who she was. It was Star Sapphire or
Well, yeah, I saw two of them. One
Oh, the
looked like a
DC?
female lion-o, and then I was like, "Is she lion from the back?" She had a mane and a half. Then I saw the real Starfire. I was like, "Okay, yeah."
This sounds like you were at the same show I was, I was in New York. I was in Connecticut rather, and you were in Florida. I was at a show called Dragon Con,
I've heard of that.
and it was a ton of just cosplayers that I had no idea who they were. I felt really old. I'm not judging. I just don't understand the furry thing. I don't get it. I cosplayed once as Bazooka. I felt like a fucking superhero. So maybe when they're dressed up as like a wolf man, they feel the same way. But there was a lot of that there.
We saw some full-on furries too, like full, and you're like hot, hard to walk.
Yes.
How's sex? Because I know they're doing it in it. So I don't,
Yes.
there's a little flap. It's a little
there's
like
a little
flap.
flap. You're right,
Sure.
right.
Yes.
You just
So,
can't see it.
A lot of that at the show I was at. It was, listen, you go for experiences though, right?
Absolutely.
And I told this story last night. The vendor next to me, I also vended at the show.
Oh,
Guy next to me is selling these like glasses with characters etched on them. You know, He-Man, Terrifier, Jason Voorhees, and he was showing people how it doesn't scratch off. They're machine washer safe, all that business, the whole spiel. $20 was the price.
as everything starts.
Guy comes up to him. Is that the best you can do for Johnny Eagle? And the vendor's like, what do you mean? He was like, I'm Johnny Eagle, man. Can't you give me a deal? And I'm overhearing this like, this is so awkward. So
We'll walk
Johnny
up to
Eagle,
every booth now and say, "I'm Johnny Eagle,"
yeah, you look like a Johnny Eagle with your mustache, man. You could pull it off.
just like that.
Yeah, I see it.
Thomas, you hit some comments there. They've been going. You should, give a little, take a break. Look at what the nice people
How
have
cool
said.
was WonderCon, or was it WonderCon? Was it?
What his was, you said you went to New York.
Mine
Comic
was
Con.
Dragon Con. Yours was
Dragon Con.
WonderCon.
No, ours was Mega.
Ours
Oh.
was mega.
MegaCon. That's right. Jesus.
Gady says, wore the Grimace costume in the sun when I worked at Mickey D's. I didn't even know
Oh
they
my
did
God.
Speaking of Grimace, there we go.
Look at that.
I got him on.
that. You got a super chat from Mike
Yeah.
Traverso. I thought the flap was to pass coffees through. I mean, you could do that too.
You could.
Thank you for the super chat. So I got one thing, which is fucking lame as shit.
Oh no.
I was just like, Easter's
needed to
coming
buy
up.
something.
I don't play Fortnite. I was like, I'm gonna get this fucking bunny.
It's
It reminds me of Ralphie.
Yeah.
But the MegaCon was it was Victor. It was cool hanging out with you. I'm just gonna premise.
No,
with that.
it was a fun time, but
The next day, instead of like rage quitting, I like rage toy hunted, and I went an
Oh,
hour away to a toy store because I knew I was hoping to find these at the con. But instead, I drove to this toy store to get them. The new Plunder Frogs.
well, see, that was a great story though, Thomas, because you went to the Bits and Buttons and said, "Hey, they usually have Thunderlings," and you asked him, and the guy was like, "Nah, not this time." And I'm like, "This is
No.
fucking huge. Why don't you have the new crap that people like Thomas want to buy?" Not that I care.
That guy's cool.
This guy's friggin' awesome. Look at the bottles of potions
I
he
like
got.
oh,
with, like,
I thought it was
steam-
booze. I thought that'd be cool.
I mean, it could be booze,
Looks
but so I went and rage shopped on Sunday because I was so pissed that I didn't get to get the things.
Someone's
And
gonna
then
take my
I found
money.
this individual guy at Target and I really didn't care about. I just wanted the. See, this is
Right.
where my illness comes in. I just wanted this
The pillowcase.
The turtles.
because I thought that was a nice touch. So
Yeah.
I rage shopped because shopping at MegaCon was kind of lame. So that was our MegaCon experience. Gaines, you were at a show. You said Dragon Con, and I wanted you to talk about it because this Punch Out thing. I was trying to explain it to Victor,
Yeah, I was like, okay, what?
but
Sure.
I'd rather just hear it from you. And then one more thing before you go. The whole time I was telling Victor, I was like, this Zolocon show is fucking amazing.
Yep.
And I was like, all the things that we're talking about, like we wish we could see, that was Zolocon. And that's where that's the only 2 times I've run into in person. So
Yeah, it's funny. Yes, Zolocon is a great show. Michael Zola Trow does a great job. So I set up a TV, and I used to bring the old Nintendo,
Mhm.
but with a smaller TV, HDMI, I have the NES Mini, and Mike Tyson's Punch Out is on there. And you pay $2. If you beat Tyson, you win the money, right? I've seen it done twice. One time I lost $300, but gained someone that was super pumped. So when people, it's funny, you have people that pick up that controller and they swear they beat Tyson, and they don't realize how hard this boss fight was, and it really mimicked fighting Mike Tyson in the ring. And it's funny to see the little kids react because kids think they could beat everything because Call of Duty, and they think because it's old,
Yeah.
it's going to be simple,
Yeah.
and they get their butts kicked in 10 seconds. So it's become a thing, and I bring it pretty much every show I go to, and it's just, even if you're not playing for the money, I let people play for free, right?
Gaines, your booth. You have a booth, and
Yeah.
you have this set up, and this is it.
Yeah.
That's it's very, very entrepreneurial. That's really cool.
Yeah, well, the first time I did it and I saw the money pile up, I'm like, well, this is awesome. It cost me nothing, and I just made money. And then at 3:00, when the show was going to end at 4, big, huge guy comes over, puts his haul down. He had a big haul, like he bought everything in the freaking toy show. Mike Tyson did not touch this man. I mean, not a hit. And he won $300. So,
damn,
buy
like
money.
Final boss of the con.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, he was your final boss.
Yes.
It's like, I'm gonna go spend all this money, and then I'm gonna go make it all back.
Make it all
Did,
back.
man. I mean, good for him. But it really was cool because people started to surround him as the round went on, and I started yelling. We're in round 3. I wanted to make him nervous, but that didn't work. So.
You might have touched upon it, but Mike Tyson was the last person you fight, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get it to
There's a code.
Oh, there's a code. So you just get it to the last level.
Yeah, there's a code.
I imagine the people that think it's easy, it's like when they were kids playing it, you're playing it in succession. You're just like, you're getting better at it, better. But when they pick it up like 25, 30 years later, you're not as good as you were back in the day.
And going in cold fighting Mike, it's very difficult.
So that's cool. Did anybody get close this weekend?
Just me, and I swore because I had 14 hours to do it between both days, and I almost beat him, but didn't. No one got close at all. It was very demoralizing for people.
I don't think I'd never beat one NES game ever.
That is very
sad.
I'm gonna cry. Not even Super Mario. It's like 2 warp zones, and you're saving the princess.
Okay, so does it count if you use the warp zone?
Yes, that's what they're there for.
Then I still never beat it.
What? You better tonight. You're going to beat Super Mario.
The one game I want to go back and beat is Home Alone.
Oh, why? Why? It's horrible.
I played that game all the time. And
those
to
movie
win,
games were the worst, weren't they?
To win, all you had to do was just survive for like 20 minutes. And if I knew that as a kid, I probably still would have lost, but then the end would have been near. I would have known how close it is just to get to the win.
Yeah. I used to pride myself on beating those Nintendo games. I didn't know that you just had to survive 20 minutes to the cops come and arrest them in front of you or something.
I never made it to the end. I couldn't tell you.
That's a good topic. What game I wanted to go back and always win because I kept renting it because I was renting games.
Yeah, sure.
It was Friday the 13th.
Oh, what a nightmare!
It was wasn't Nightmare. It was Friday the 13th. No, it was a Nightmare. And I loved playing it, but it was basically because I was sadistic.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So this is once a year, and but you bring this to more than one show. This is
I'm
not
going to
just-
bring it to I do a show locally, the Newburgh Toy Show, April 12th. That's a plug. I'm going to bring it there just for people to have fun. I don't know if I'll charge them because kids love playing that Nintendo. They love it.
That's cool to know. Like a kid's coming up, and even though they have the games they have, and they're like, no, I want to play. Still want to play this like game.
Punch Out holds up because it has big sprites that are colorful and well drawn. If you look at some Nintendo games, they look very cavemanish and ridiculous, but Punch Out holds up. It's still very charming.
Do you consider Punch Out a Super Mario game?
He's in it. That's I don't think it's his first appearance. There was like some Game and Watch gallery nonsense, but it's a nice Easter egg. And a kid did mention that. Was like, is that Mario? I was like, yep, that's Mario counting your dad out.
First, I'm glad you say Mario the way you do, because I'm from where you're from.
Yeah,
and that's why
Mario.
I wasn't going to say anything, you guys, but it's Mario.
Well,
Mario.
Victor, you're outnumbered here, Victor.
Oh, today I am.
Mario.
Yeah, you'd say accessory for us, would you?
I have an accent and I have a speech impediment. So
Oh, well, that's sorry
Oh,
about
feel
that.
bad victim.
so we'll talk quickly about some movies and TV that's coming up, and then some toy news. If you are coming to this show to be informative, we only talk about the things that we like. So sorry, you're not going to get the full rundown of things.
No.
I know you guys kind of talked about this on your show the other night, but just some things that are coming out. I think Daredevil's out tonight,
Cool.
if I'm not mistaken. I'm excited for Daredevil. I
Look
think
good.
I'm still like an MCU fan in the way, like that ex-girlfriend that keeps coming back into your life and like giving
Yeah.
you hope and breaking your heart, and then you fall in love again and she breaks your heart again. That's kind of my relationship with the MCU. But my constant is I love Daredevil. Any of these are exciting to you guys or no?
Huge Daredevil fan. I watched the original Marvel shows before they rebooted Daredevil, so I really enjoyed, like, Iron Fist sucked, but I really did like Luke Cage and the Daredevil then. But this Daredevil is so fantastic, so I'll be watching now since this is back. I love Daredevil.
I'm so glad, and they're showing it in the poster, so obviously they're proud of it, that he has the D and the D on his.
Mhm.
I'm
I hope
such
it's
a
there. I hope it's there.
nut with costumes, and I think it looks great. I play a lot of video games still, so I don't have a lot of time for TV, but I'm going to make time for Daredevil. I'm most excited for that Mario sequel. I thought the first one was an absolute home run, and I had so much fun. I watched it 3 times, which is enough for a grown man to watch a cartoon about an Italian little plumber guy. So I'm excited for that.
Representation. That's what
I know.
that's
We
what
got him and we got the Punisher. That's it.
Well, yeah, and the Punisher's in Daredevil, so it's always nice to see that guy creep up into a show.
Yes.
Spider-Man, jury's out. Jury's not out yet. I'll be cautiously optimistic about it, but I agree with you, Gaines. Like, I saw the first Super Mario. I'm gonna say it the way I want to say it, Victor.
I only judge once, and then I keep it to myself.
Gaines, everyone in Florida makes fun of like when I say certain things. Mario's one of them.
Oh, great.
But the first movie I saw with my brother, which was pretty cool, because I mean, I'm always Luigi. Younger brothers, Luigi syndrome is just kind of like the
I
thing.
can see it now too. You resemble him too a little bit.
Especially now.
Yeah, it's great.
It's the green and the mustache, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But they packed so much in that first movie, like Mario Kart and
Loved
Super
it.
Smash, right? And then I know this is going Galaxy, but they can do Luigi's Mansion. There's so much stuff they can keep making these movies with, and if it's as good as the first one, like, I don't care. I'll see all of these movies.
I absolutely agree. And I'm excited. Zelda's kind of scaring me because it's live action, but I think Nintendo, they usually get it right. When they have their hands in something, that first movie they knew nothing about, really. It was a disaster, but I think they're gonna get it right.
I hope Legend of Zelda is good.
Me too.
I'm a big fan of that franchise, and I'd like to see it treated respectfully. But Nintendo can be like Marvel was, because I look at Spider-Man, and although I enjoyed all the Spider-Man movies, I'm just afraid because I do get fatigue and I do get
Sure.
it gets diluted and it looks good, but it's just another Spider-Man. Are they just going to be like, oh, we're scrounging because it's so popular? We'll make it work. Everyone will go anyway. So I just
You are correct.
Yeah, and then we were both talking this weekend. Like, I don't. We're kind of curious about Doomsday, but like, it's just I don't know where they're going with it. Like, I just don't know where is it going.
I think that's it though. I'm just Marvel curious now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where I went from like hardcore to like Marvel curious.
Yeah.
This I put in, and I wanted to ask you a question, Gaines. So this is a weird slide, and I'm going to try to make it relevant. In Orlando, we have some cool stuff like theme parks everywhere, but at Universal they do Halloween Horror Nights, which is just haunted houses everywhere. And they have one store where they put merchandise in, which usually like teases stuff, and they put MOTU merchandise in there, which is super weird. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Which makes me think there might be a Masters of the Universe haunted house.
In the last couple of years, there's been licensing discussions a lot. Universal, because they can break that. Masters is broken up into different things, whether it's a live action, whether it's the cartoon, whether it's She-Ra. They all have different kind of licensing agreements. And Universal was kind of looking at it just a few years back. This is odd, though. What an odd find.
Yeah. And MOTU, this movie could, put MOTU on the map again. So
Sure.
maybe they're just getting ahead of it. I don't know. What is
So-
that? A little backpack?
The back.
Like, look, they had more merch. They had like shirts and hats and all this other stuff. But they did Ghostbusters a few years ago. So I almost tell anyone, if you're visiting Orlando, like, and you're coming during Halloween time, skip the Disney crap. Universal Halloween Horror Nights is friggin' amazing. But what I wanted to ask you, I know you're Northeast. Have you ever been to the Eastern State Penitentiary during Halloween?
No. Oh, no.
Oh man.
Should I?
Yeah, it's in Philly, and it's like where that gangster broke out of jail.
Yeah.
It's scary as shit, but those Philly kids go hard.
We have something like a half hour from me called the Headless Horseman, and there's
cool.
videos about it, and
Yeah.
they do all the things where they set up little escape rooms, and you walk around a corn maze, and then people hop out and scare the crap out of you. So I usually do that with a friend because Halloween is his birthday. So
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So there's just because it was MOTU, I want to talk about that real quick, and then we're gonna not spend too much time on toy news because like I said, it's just the things we like. But we did miss last week, so this one I wanted to talk about this.
I don't
know if Victor's seen this. Victor,
Oh
have you
yeah,
seen this?
I watched the artist demonstrate him drawing this and where he got the inspiration. Now it didn't sound like they're making it into toys yet, but he was working.
No, they are.
They are okay.
Yeah.
So from the video he did, he was like, "Oh, I'm working with Mattel." So it sounded more like this. I hope so. I don't know when the video was made. I think they're beautiful pieces of artwork. I mean, they are. They're absolutely gorgeous.
I completely agree. Whatever this is, whatever kind of art you want, abstract, whatever it is gorgeous. In my opinion. Now, I don't like to be mean with toys, right? Because it's toys at the end of the day, and people can be really harsh. And I get it. I have no problem with it, but I just try to play devil's advocate. I think if you have these paintings behind the toy, I said this last night, and I wasn't BSing. I think if you have these paintings with the toys, it'll look nice. And you have the toys because once you see the reveal, it's kind of like, whoa.
Wait,
I agree.
Oh, actually, no. In the video, I didn't know they were selling them. I saw the toys, so I would not buy these. 100%.
Yeah, okay.
No, he's wearing a cabbage on his head. That is truly what He-Man is wearing. It's cabbage leaf, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I
Skeletor
mean,
looks cool.
But the paint job on Battle Cat is very cool. And
I think
Skeletor looks kind of fierce, but I don't.
these are for two people. These are for people like I'm a Turtles guy. There's people in Turtles that will buy anything because it's Turtles.
Yep.
This is for the people that will buy anything because it's Masters of the Universe, no matter what. It could be the dumbest thing ever. They're going to buy it. Or I also think this is for the people that are like, man, I wish I can like decorate with some toys.
Yes.
Maybe my wife will let me maybe my wife will let me put this in the living room.
Sneak this on the mantle. Yeah.
Like, this is like high art. Can I put this, Can I
Okay,
put this
I
somewhere
love
in the living room where
Thumbelina
everybody can
He-Man
see?
here. Thumbelina He-Man. I gotta say, and Cabbage Patch Man.
He-Man looks like he met a girl he's really into, and she talked him into wearing this bullshit, and he did it to get laid.
They're going after a fancy event. She said, "No, wear this. It'll be great."
Yes, it looks great on you.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I find it fascinating. I mean, look at all the turtle crap though, Thomas. They cross everything, but this is just going the next evolution. It's not interesting me, but it's just the next evolution, I guess.
I would buy the artwork alone over
Yeah.
the figures.
I agree. Like Gaines, you had said it too. I'd put it behind. It's kind of nice.
Okay.
So, I think there's some good and bad in it. I think it is wacky. This is definitely not for everybody, but they took a shot, I guess.
Price is too high though. The $100 is a little wacky.
Oh,
That
Yep.
He-Man
I did
didn't
not-
meet any girls.
no. And if you are buying this to impress the girl, it's not going to happen. It's not. Not at all. This just came out today, and
Cute.
God, what are they
This
doing?
This is scraping. You just mentioned turtle fans, and you are correct. I always bring up Michelle Ivy. She owns everything. Are there still Star Wars collectors that buy everything?
Yes, and I'll explain.
I was like, Thomas knows better because that's crazy to me.
So, Jersey Maniac's a regular with you guys, right? Part
Yeah.
of the show. And, I chime in, but I don't think anyone sees this comment in particular. And I'm going to, hopefully I can explain something that is adding to the conversation. Yes, it's stupid when Hasbro releases the Christmas Star Wars, the Halloween Star Wars, the Valentine's Day Iron Man.
Yep.
This one's a little different because I think it's exclusive for somewhere, I don't know, but Disney Parks sells the shit out of those products.
Okay.
And it's not for the collector. It's not. It is for those impulse people that are like, I'm on vacation and I'm in a Star Wars store and oh, how wacky it's R2D2 wearing Mickey ears or with an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
And believe the first week with that Iron Man with the Valentine's Day outfit, that is front and center of every Disney Marvel store at the parks. So you don't sell it online. You can send it to the parks, and there's people that have never seen it. Yeah, it's a novelty item. So but there are people that just buy it for fun. This thing is a stormtrooper to t-shirt. And
I do like the cutout of Han, and he missed every shot. Stormtroopers never
Very
hit anything.
funny. Yeah,
that's clever.
Not enough to buy it though, right?
No, I like putting clothes on my figures, so I wouldn't mind having the shirt for another figure.
Do you?
So
Really?
I might buy it. I might get this.
The Target thing reminds me of a friend that we used to have and an ex-girlfriend from high school that the dad specifically walked me into the garage and showed me that like Target practice thing.
Yeah.
And wanted to show me like how good a shot he was.
Oh, great. Really? Oh, you're dating my daughter. Let me show you how good I shoot. You see this head with no face left?
It's like fucking holes all over it.
Great.
But yeah. So I mean, yeah, actually I didn't realize the missing the whole thing. So I guess that's as a novelty item.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The only thing about, because the novelty is great, but I want to say stormtroopers in general. That I had a list of Star Wars when we went to MegaCon, Thomas, and they just keep putting out stormtroopers, and I'm just tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really a modern day Star Wars collector, but anything the Battle Geonosis,
that's your
I'm
thing.
buying. So this is something I don't remember them making it in the original Attack of the Clones line, but I'll for sure get this.
Yeah, I wish it was Black Series, because Black Series used to make dewbacks and tauntauns, and they just gave up on big alien animal creatures. But this is cool.
That's why I never got into Black, because I'm like, they're never going to go as deep. They're never
they gave
gonna
up.
go as deep. And if I could scream this from the rooftops, I don't want to discourage anyone from buying vintage collection, but like, go to any retro toy store and there's Power of the Force all the way up to the Saga collection, just peg warming.
Yeah.
You're going to find all the characters you want. They're not going to have the articulation like today,
Right there.
but you're going to get like the characters that you need to fill out your space.
Yeah. This is cool though.
Yeah. I know you are a
great.
big McFarlane fan. Victor doesn't collect McFarlane, so those conversations between you and me.
Yeah.
I still
What?
think he looks great.
Yeah, they nailed it. There's
Yeah.
certain things that he needed to nail. You know, he nailed Wonder Woman. He finally nailed a Superman. He had to nail this. Thank God he did. He did what he could with skirting around the license of not having Jack, and it's a good release.
It's such a weird like thing too, because he did that with the Batgirl from the show. It was
Yep.
like, oh, this is inspired from the Batgirl from the cartoon. Which
Yeah.
always, what I wanted to ask you about this. Okay, we're getting Joker, right? You correct me if I'm wrong. You are all in on the Burton Schumacher movie figures, right?
Absolutely.
Who else do you want? Like, if you can pick, like, this was a staple. We needed this. Who else do you want when you can like wipe your hands and say, I'm done with this collection?
I know he was barely in the movie. It's such an oddball design. I think it would make for a really fun action figure, and that Bane, that wacky looking Bane, I would love.
It's a hole in the collection for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Bane, Bob, and
Bob is
then,
great too.
What about
Met-
Vicky Vale?
Yes, I mean, listen,
I'll take.
I'll take all. I'll take all of them. I'll buy all of them. Aside
Yeah.
from even Billy D. Williams, I'll buy him too. I'll probably peg Warm as another character, but I'll buy it.
Like,
Imagine Peg
Family
Warman in two different toy lines.
Yep, exactly.
Mezco did the Joker goon with the radio. Like, I think I want to hold out hope, but if it ends with Joker being the last from those movie lines that we get, I can be happy at least.
Yeah, I mean, just getting a Uma Thurman Poison Ivy, in my opinion, is crazy. In an adult collectible. Taking a look back here, he did Arnold as Freeze. So he really, who knew we'd get those figures? In adult collectible, good sculpts for the most part. So credit to him.
I don't think we're not going to see those from Mattel.
No, I don't think we'll see him again. If anyone was going to do them, it would have been NECA, and NECA did not. So
no, but that I think this is probably how I found you. It was a Robin video. I found you, and the way you talk about McFarlane, right? That's kind of what attracted me to watching your videos. And you and I think you're deeper on the line than I am, but like, just I don't have a lot of toy friends outside in the real world other than Victor, but like I also don't have a lot of toy friends that are like super into those movies. So
yeah,
it's just fun to find people that have a passion for like that era. It's a time capsule.
It's a time capsule. They weren't perfect, but they were very unique because they were some of the first. After Donner Reeve Superman, there was this huge gap. I know we got a goofy Captain America and a decent Dolph Lundgren Punisher, but as far as a film being in a theater, big blockbuster, big event, it was great.
Hey, I saw the opening night of Batman '89. So
Great, wasn't it?
yeah.
All right. Didn't want to linger too long on toy news or other things, but it's been fun getting to know you. But we're going to dive a little deeper, Gaines. Now, I think whenever we have guests on, I think a lot of times I see like guests just kind of join the fold and they go into the normal conversation. But like, I think the point of what we kind of want to do is I want to know like what got you here into collecting like nowadays, right? Like where did it start and how did that kind of mold your habits now, right? So we had another guest on. He was in the comments, Gades. We did this with him. What we're going to do is I want to go through your top 10 and just tell us like why is this important, right? Like how did this like really mold your collecting now? And we're not going to spend a lot of time on us. This is about you. We'll go real quick. Our 10 to 6, just so you get an idea of who we are. And then you're going to go through one by one into your toy lines.
Okay.
All right. But one thing I wanted to mention, like, again, I like your setup. And this is why I like watching your show. I get a lot of your personality from just like watching what you have in frame.
Yeah.
A lot of 90s love, a lot of 80s love, pop culture stuff. So for Victor, if you haven't watched the Toy Games video, they're fun. I don't watch a lot of certain YouTube, but I do watch Gaines a lot. So
Mary Catherine Gallagher there is awesome.
I found her a month ago for $5.
I was like,
had-
"Yeah, that's great.
You know what I
Had to
get
have-
most excited? Like the fact that you have a raisinette there. That
well, listen, very
We had those
controversial.
PVCs, those PCBs, whatever they were called.
Yes, I love them things. I think Applause made all of them at
All
some
of 'em.
point. Yeah.
so Victor, don't go through your
Oh,
whole top 10.
I
Real
won't.
quick, you have 30
This is my
seconds.
10 through 6. So the toys that made me. Love
Love it.
Lincoln Logs. They were a great early starter, especially and also those little round people from Fisher Price. So real starter toys as a kid really sparked my imagination. I did love to build houses.
Sure.
I loved all the play sets in the little round people. I called them the round people. I
Yeah.
think they're called little people. Also, definitely the Playmobil sets. They lasted forever. This German toy allowed me to do so much, especially with my Lincoln Logs, because I did like Western kind of stuff. So also randomly didn't know Shogun had no media, but my brothers and I all
Had 'em.
got 3 of these giant Shogun warriors. They were on skates.
Yep.
And I just found them imaginative. They really sparked my imagination. Didn't know anime yet. Wouldn't know that till Star Blazers. So I really didn't know what was going on, but I love this guy and I'd have him shoot everybody. And that's really also when TV and movie, obviously, there's Star Wars, but there were other things like Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica. I really like Clash of the Titans was a movie version, but I like when they made the toy lines of that kind of stuff. So there's a Battlestar Galactica representation.
Sure.
So
Yep.
that's my 10 through 6 of some young toys early on in my life that made me really start going, I love this crap.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff.
And then real quick, Ghostbusters, Dick Tracy. I don't know if many people like the Prince of Thieves line, but Prince of Thieves and the Hook line came out around the same time.
Yep.
They were fun to play with together. And then my era of G.I. Joe, which is super different than Victor's era of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Anything neon. So we're going to get into your list now. And what I love when you send me your list, it is a nice mixture of Victor and myself. And
Yeah, good.
I think as we get into it, tell us everything, any little tidbit you have, get into it. So we're going to start off with your top.
So my mother was a young mom and she was a great woman and she was very in tune with what I liked, right? And Spider-Man had a cartoon and he had a live action show. And Mego had the DC and Marvel line, which is something that's very unique. So my first, of course, I did have Lincoln Logs and all that stuff. My first action figure was the Spider-Man. I fondly remember having my bottle and having him climb on the couch. And at one point, I took this outfit off because it's removable, and I cut the arms off and I put it on my hamster, which is very odd. Yes, that's something I don't like to admit. But I just wanted to see my hamster in action climbing the couch, and it sort of worked. And then I got punished, and I never got another Mego figure. No, I did, but Mego, I had the Hulk. I had, of course, Oven Mitt Batman, because who didn't love Adam West? Mego really kicked it off. There was something magical about seeing the character. This is before I read comics or anything, and manipulating that character. Now the show will continue, right? The show's not over because now I'm playing with that character underneath the couch or in my
100%.
bed. So it was very sparked my imagination. And I think she knew that. I think she really wasn't in tune with trying to get my imagination flowing.
So we got to ask a little more about the hamster, though.
So Speedy.
Did it live? I mean, dirt for that.
Speedy. Speedy, I loved hamsters. Not in a Richard Gere way, but I loved them. And he escaped and we found him, and I vowed never to let him out of the cage again. And I would put him in that awful ball they got to run in.
Yeah.
But I just wanted Speedy to like have fun, and I thought he would like it. I'm like 5 years old. I thought Speedy was gonna like, I did call him Spider Ham before, I knew there was a
I was
Spider
going to
Ham.
ask. You should have coined the phrase Spider Ham.
I could have been the rich.
Thinking long.
God rest Speedy's
This
soul.
Mego collections, they're huge, right? That Mego, we had Starsky and Hutch. We didn't have Marvel, or we had Starsky and Hutch and
Yep.
Chips.
Yep.
But I'm looking at this list and I'm looking at the picture there and I see Isis, which is such a unique character because she had her
Yep.
little live action Saturday morning. But I'm also looking, is Robin wearing pants?
No,
I mean,
he's totally wearing underoos, baby.
No, I mean, he doesn't even look like he's wearing that.
They're tiny.
green?
He's really going for it.
Barely tiny.
This is a little before my time, but I do remember finding a videotape of the Adam West Batman show. And before the show started, there was a commercial for the Mego toys. And
Wow,
I was always fascinated by them. So I thought they were super cool. So,
Yeah.
and Vic, they did all sorts. They did Planet of the Apes and they had
Everything, man.
licenses for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It was
Happy Days. We saw that there. We saw it at MegaCon, didn't we, Thomas?
Oh, they had Happy Days.
They had a Happy Days set. Yeah.
Did not know. All right. So starting us off with your 10, over to number 9.
So the cool thing about Boba Fett, I mean, in the first film, he's barely in it, and then when he's in Jedi, he's made to look like a fool. But the design of this toy, what I loved about this figure, first of all, he has a jetpack. Jetpacks are always cool, no matter what toy it is, what character it is. Farm Boy Luke, for example, he'll look goofy anywhere else running around, right? He needs to be on Tatooine. But this character, this toy, you can bring him anywhere, have him go on an adventure. There's something about this oddball color scheme of green and reds and orange. I like contrast and weird colors and designs. And if there was no let's say there was no Star Wars films, nothing Star Wars, I still think this character would be loved because the design is so good.
Gaines, did you look at his knees and legs? This is what always amazed me about this character. He's not symmetrical, which a lot of characters aren't, but look at his knees. There's pockets.
Yep.
There's 2 different devices in there.
Yep.
And they're even the detail on that larger device and the thinner device.
Yep.
And you look at his wrist gauntlets, there's something going on. As a kid, you were like,
yes.
What did these do?
Yes, absolutely. It's all built into the sculpt.
The mold.
You really could use your imagination with this little toy. I loved it. Did I like other Star Wars characters more? Probably, but as far as a toy, this was it for me for Star Wars.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that, but like it's Power of the Force 2. This is my favorite Star Wars figure. And if you didn't have any other Star Wars figure and this was it,
yeah,
it would look weird if you put Luke in a different toy. Like he could navigate over to a different toy line.
Yes.
Let's see. Boba Fett used to be so cool. Mandalorian, 100 different redesigns of his helmet and the ball guy strip.
I tend to agree. 1,000 Boba Fett's on a beach fighting kind of like takes a little bit of the uniqueness out of him, so I don't disagree.
And I wanted to be in the book of Boba Fett. I was waiting for tough ass. I just wanted a redemption from his Return of the Jedi death, and I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the show about the kids. Acolyte had some like minor moments in it where I was like,
I know it did.
That was cool. Like
Acolyte, there's just something there. I'm not saying it's good, but there was something they tried to do different at least.
I think like if anyone's like never seen Acolyte and you just want like one little snippet, that fight in the woods is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like that lightsaber battle is
choreography
brutal.
was decent, man.
Yeah. The rest of it I won't speak for, but
it's not great, but there's some subtle things in there where it could have been good.
So this is where I'd say the generational divide is between me and Victor. This was his era. Have you ever stopped collecting Star Wars? This has been a constant.
I've never stopped, man. Even though I hated the jacked Luke for some reason, just seeing him on pegs got the wheels in motion again, and I really never stopped. We will get to when I briefly stopped because I tried to do this for every like era, but I always collected toys in a way. Even when I was asking Santa to get them, I'm still collecting them. I'm just not buying them myself.
Yeah. Revenge of the Sith is when I stopped collecting toys altogether. Like I got Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was collecting all the way from Power of the Force to Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And then at that point I was like, okay, the last movie's done. I never need to collect toys again. And I mean, that's obviously going terrible for me right now.
Yes.
Thomas,
But
I got to do another show called The Last Toy because we've got stories. We have these stories where I had to stop getting toys because my parents said no. And there was an era of like, that's embarrassing. to be that way. So even in the end, I was collecting them. I wasn't playing with them anymore, but I was collecting, but I was too old. So they were like, no more. So then I had to wait till I was much older before I was like, you know what? I want my toys back. So
Yeah,
it's interesting because and you guys all from different areas have a different story of that. So we should
Yeah.
we should
Never
do a
got the-
dedicated for that.
Never got the embarrassing conversation. But I think my mom
I
kind of
did. My
my
parents
mom collects stuff, so she kind of fed into it. But we were talking about this a little before, like when it came time to girls or dating.
Yeah.
Like my high school girlfriends were coming into a room full of Star Wars shit, and
was
you're just like, this is it.
This is it.
This is but what I was telling Gaines is, here in Orlando, like because you have such a big nerd culture, like girls here love Star Wars, girls here love Marvel. And I remember like dating and meeting girls that like you can actually talk Star Wars with. I'm like, where were you
Yeah.
in high school
Yeah.
when I needed you? Instead of a girl walking into
They
my,
were in drama class.
which I learned
True.
later. And I learned later, and it worked.
True.
But, yeah, we do have a good like nerd culture here, I'd say.
Okay. So I saw before the cartoon, my babysitter, who was Lawrence, who was a great guy, a few years older than me. My mom would let Lawrence watch me when she went to work. My mom was a single mom for a little bit, and I'm deep into Star Wars, balls deep. I see this He-Man figure just sitting on his floor. This is before I saw the cartoon, and it looks so different from Mego, because Mego was a little tall and gangly, and then you have Star Wars, which is small, 3 inches more or less. It was so different looking, and that stupid action where this simple thing, it just I was, what, Lawrence, what is, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then he said, oh, it's He-Man, and it was He-Man. It sounded dopey but powerful.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by it. And then, of course, a year or two later, the cartoon was out. Everything's in full swing. This guy, this half-naked blonde goofball, completely drove. I still got the Ewok Village. I remember that was late, but He-Man took over. It was love at first sight, and He-Man really took over. And there was weird characters, Beast Man, you got a Skull Man, and it was similar but so different. It had sci-fi elements, it had the good guy, the bad guy, but I just loved it. I fell in love with it. And again, going back to colors, look at all them colors there, the greens, the reds. I love color in toys.
And this is like, I was never a MOTU collector or Masters of the Universe, but I watch Victor collect it. I watch my cousin collect it. It's fun for me to watch, like that. You guys like this, at least these last like 5 years, you guys are eating pretty good.
We're eating good.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like so many different lines. And I mean, and then just talking to Victor, like learning about like 2000X, like I didn't really know about that stuff. So
Yeah.
like, it's just been fun to kind of enjoy it through like
Different
you guys.
lens.
Yeah.
Gaines, I have to say thank you. It's nice to hear someone with a very similar story because I got these on Christmas. There was no media. The cartoon wasn't out for another year.
Yes.
And I never heard of them. I didn't see them on the pegs, but my mother, maybe like yours, knew what to get me. And I opened up He-Man and Skeletor, and I just stared at them and was like,
what is this?
The future. This is like, this is what I will collect now. This is what I will have. And from then on, like those two guys, and then something I was like, Zodak, Stratos,
Zodak, that
everybody.
name.
The names, Zodak. You're just like, we hadn't seen that. We knew the Star Wars characters because we saw them in the movie, but this was, who are these guys? I want to learn more. And those mini comics, man.
And the records that played, and you had the story with the record. I was just in love. I was hooked I saw this on, like I said, on his floor, and I had to have it. I ran home and told my mother,
get this.
And, thank God I didn't have brothers and sisters at the time.
What do you have one mainline Master of the Universe line now that's like your bread and butter, or you kind of pick and choose? Like what's your stick?
I have my I love getting Origins again just to have a little bit better posable classic He-Man like this, all shiny and brand new with no scuffs on them. But New Eternia really impressed me over the past few years. And I hope it continues because there's some sculpts in that New Eternia line that rival like NECA. And I really mean that. and it's a special line to me. I say this, it gets the juices flowing. There's certain toy lines that I buy and I'm like, this is a great figure. I have to touch this and manipulate it and review it. And I really like New Eternia the best for He-Man.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
they finish it or at least go far into it.
Yeah. I mean, they put out a lot of characters, but they need to redo like Webster because he was tough to find and a few others.
My mother was the manager at Woolworth.
Great toy spot.
Looked out
Yeah.
for Christmas every year growing up.
Woolworth and Sears, they had toys up the wazoo too. It was great.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right.
So the only thing to take me out of Eternia and away from Castle Grayskull was something that was old yet new. We're going back to 3 3/4, but now we can move, right?
Yeah.
And now we have things like ninjas and vehicles. And I don't recall where I first saw it. I don't have that magical seeing it on Lawrence's floor story, but I knew this had to be played with because they really went all out. I mean, just looking at that picture there, we can all agree. What I love about Storm Shadow, though, is the storage element. Being able to put those swords in the sheaths and the nunchucks fold in there and the bow. That's a toy that you could take with you to dinner on some boring dinner and have a little adventure because everything packs in. And I'll always remain my favorite. I just love the clean look of this ninja, and G.I. Joe really captivated me from day one as well. Had a great cartoon, and it's undefeated. It's really, we just mentioned MOTU and Star Wars, of course, and now G.I. Joe. These designs to me are just brilliant and unbeatable.
Look at that mold again with the shooting of the stars, the throwing stars molded on there. So
Yes.
you looked at him close. You said he's got more. You couldn't get him, but he had stuff.
Yes.
And it made you know he could do more. And
Yes.
look at the wrappings around his arms. These characters, but that cartoon was. I know nobody died and they all parachuted out, but it was still great.
It's great. The theme song, the acting, the camaraderie, the way they talk to one another. You know what I liked about it? I tell the story over and over again. It might be boring to some people that have heard it before. They didn't treat you like a child with G.I. Joe. There was goofy stuff here and there.
Sure.
But one of my favorite episodes is Zartan pretends to be like a banker and has to take Dusty's grandmother's house from him or some crazy shit.
Gonna get the mortgage from you.
Yes, I'm like, you're feeling like this is real deal stuff. Never mind Cobra trying to control the weather. This guy's grandmother's gonna lose her house.
I love that you said that. That's another show idea, Thomas, because these cartoons back then, what about when Lady J and Zoran are half naked? There's bikinis,
Yes.
there's love triangle, there's soap
Yes,
opera.
they didn't
moments.
treat
You're
you like a
what is
kid,
going
man.
on? They treat us like adults.
Yes, it was written by like weird dudes and drinking a lot of coffee and smoking Marlboros, but they came up with great stories.
This is good. I love it.
Yes.
I know a lot of people hate on the D cartoons, but that was the one that had Falcon hooked on crack.
There you go.
I mean, they taught us lessons too.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I was a Sunbow fan, but Deke, you still had its
So-
thing.
KJ's correct there. Let me touch on that. Acquiring G.I. Joes was tough, and there was a lot of them. I think I got Storm Shadow in a trade from a friend. They were tough to get. Was not fun. That's the one thing I didn't like.
So really, the distribution for these were not great.
No, I think he's talking now.
Well, no.
Distribution then,
Well, I remember what happened was this.
the toy stores were filled with these figures.
Oh, then I must have blew it with Santa because I remember there's a few I just didn't get. I didn't get a few Cobra Commanders. I had to do these trades, like Wolf of Wall Street shit, but with
Right, and you're right. There were ones that were still rare. They were probably the less in the box, and they were taken away. You're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you'll be sad to know I didn't know about this Storm Shadow until years later because I had version 2.
Well, version 2 is why I got this tattoo. If you could see it,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
was
gosh.
that
Yeah.
was that
That's
only
great.
on version 2?
That's why I did it because of version 2. Why can't I
Okay,
bend my arm?
Nice.
What am I
There
doing?
you go. There you go. There it is. There's your arm.
So yeah, I got that because of the toy, and it's toys first for me all the time.
That's cool. I'm trying to think, like, what would I get
Major
tattooed on
Blood
me?
was never found. Major Blood was a tough one. It's true.
Yeah.
And he took a big part in the cartoon. It was hard to get.
A ladyfinger firecracker at him, and he ran over my storm shield. What the fuck? Jeez.
My
Yeah.
Alpine got ran over by the lawnmower, and he looked like he survived the fire.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Storyline.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say I was Sid from Toy Story, but like before like toy photography, I thought I was doing special effects.
Michael Bay.
And I'd like light smoke bombs, but I would only use my brother's toys.
Of course.
I would only use my brother's
Wow, he's on this. Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of his toys, rest in peace. They melted in the microwave or died by smoke bombs.
My cousin was like that, man. He was a wacko. He hated putting stickers on stuff, which drove me batshit.
I love stickers.
Yeah. And then he would eventually blow them up or do something weird. And like, just stop buying toys.
Now, this was interesting because you sent me Wingnut specifically.
Yeah, Wingnut, me and him have a history. So Ninja Turtles comes out, and I did read the graphic novel, so I loved it. And I did love the goofy cartoon, and I love these oddball designs, but I'm older than you. I'm going into 7th grade. So you're supposed to be into girls and dressing nice and maybe joining the football team, all that stuff, right? It's a week or two before school, and Ninja Turtles has a new wave out, and I had to have this Wingnut. I love that he looked like Batman. I loved all this goofball stuff on him. Always loved these sculpts. I'm at the mall. My mom gave me $10 for the arcade and to buy whatever, a slice of pizza. I, of course, have to have Wingnut. Some older kids that I went to school with, they more or less were bullying me, had to see what was in the bag. They're making fun of me, saying, you need to start talking to girls. You need to be an adult, all this stupid shit. One of them, the biggest one, this kid Edwin, who was looked like he was 50 at age 14. One of them kids, right?
He smoked.
He was jacked. Something was, this guy could have been linebacker for the Giants. He stepped in and said to all of them, let him do what he wants. Let him spend his money how he wants. Who gives a shit? And
Nice.
I'm serious when I say this, the light bulb went off, and I really didn't give a shit what people thought. And credit to Edwin. I don't know where the hell he is. God bless him. And it gave me a confidence. I was a small kid at that age. At 12, I was small for my age. So I fell in love with Wingnut because of it. And now I didn't play with it. This is when I began to just pose them on my shelf like they were works of art.
That's
So
cool.
I'm
That's
guessing
like something you only see in movies. Like
It was a movie
right.
moment.
Your story is like a movie. After
was
school
cool.
special.
it's like the other kids are ganging up, and then like the biggest kid that everyone looks up to, like puts his arm out and says, "Step aside."
I remember the names. It was Fernando, Stevie D, and Edwin.
Listen, Stevie D.
Now listen, Stevie D could be funny, and I'm sure he was doing it. We used to say something in New York calling you would burn each other up, which meant you would tell jokes and make you feel like a moron to demoralize you and make you cry. But it was mean-spirited, but Edwin stepped in and saved the day. So
This sounds like the end of G.I. Joe. The more you know.
yeah,
Or,
Duke
you know,
it up.
knowing is half the battle, you know.
Yeah, Roadblock told a rhyme. If you're gonna go to the
Let him
mall,
buy what he wants.
you better know when to go.
By any chance,
Yeah.
are you in touch with any of those guys, or have you run into any of those guys years later?
Okay. When I was drinking and hitting bars and trying to bang everything that walks, Edwin's at the bar, and Edwin recognized me. And Edwin, later on in life, I think he was a drug dealer. Okay. He chooses to buy me and someone else a drink. Edwin leaves and is gone for like 10 minutes. My friend rolls up. He was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I was supposed to drink shots with Edwin, a childhood friend. I think he left." He drinks the shot. Edwin comes back and is not happy about it.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, yo, dude, just pretend like you didn't do that or it was a mistake. I think Edwin's gonna beat the shit out of us.
That's when you
The
hop in
story
and be
kind
like,
of comes
Edwin,
full circle.
just, Edwin, remember that time where you like, remember when
Remember
you had,
that time you saved me at the mall? Please don't whip my ass.
remember when you had some grace on little me? Maybe we think about that same grace right now.
You know, it
Edwin,
sounds,
not. He was great. He was just massive, dude, man. You know, when you're that big, you don't know what to do with it. You know.
no, where to channel it. So it sounds like you are a little older than him and a little younger than me, because this is like Turtles, as Thomas knows, is like where I just kind of tuned out
Yeah.
Turtles by that time.
Yeah. People, because it's weird, right? It's like gross sculpts, and
I
people
think things
either
were
like
changing
it.
for me because He-Man was over, Transformers was over,
Yep.
GI Joe was over. This was, when did they come out? 88, when the
Yes.
cartoon came out.
Yes.
So, and I was at you better, get into football, that kind of, so
I know, and it's weird because it's, you could read comics for some reason. That was okay.
fine. But if you
Video
bought a
games are
toy,
okay, but toys was like, whoa, well, you're a baby.
yeah,
I don't want to beat the dead. I've shared the story with Victor before, but my last day playing with toys, Victor. You remember when it is?
I love that story though.
When?
It's September 12th.
Yeah, he knows the date. I know.
It was the day after September 11th.
Jeez.
Because in New York, kids were getting pulled out of school because of their parents. And I was probably a little too old to be playing with toys, like starting my freshman year. And I set up all my Star Wars stuff ready to play with it. And then it was the day after. So everyone had off at school. And I remember all the sad songs were playing on the radio. And I when I was done setting up, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I put it all away. And then
Really?
from then on, I would display it. I would still collect, but that was the last day my imagination let me play with toys.
Is there a total connection to the seriousness of what was going on in the world that kind of made you just have to grow up real quick?
I don't know. I think just because where we were, my
Yeah.
high school was on Staten Island, and if you've been there, you could see the whole skyline from Staten
Yeah.
Island. The
Yeah.
top floor of my high school, you could see the skyline. And I wasn't on that side of the school when it happened, but when I switched classes and was on when I moved, you saw the smoke.
Sure.
So getting home and then having the day off the next day, at first you're like, oh, I don't have to go to school. But then the weight of reality sets in and you're like, shit,
yeah.
that.
Things are different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
interesting.
so. Not gonna bring the mood down. So we'll,
No, that's interesting though. There's some psychology to that above my pay grade.
yeah, really weird.
Yeah.
But Victor, this is your 5 to 1.
All right, so
Real
great,
quick.
because mine were kind of the early end. Fisher Price's Adventure People were still very important to me because they
Brilliant.
showed real people. They showed real people doing real things, and you could use them in any of your toy lines. So in that 3.75 inch, those camping, those rescue things, loved it. GI Joe, it hit me. Snow Job was my favorite of the characters. I don't know if it was skiing. I don't know if it's because he was red hair. I don't know. It's just he was cool. He-Man and the Transformers. So yes, He-Man and the GI Joe, they kind of hit that same Star Wars feel you had, Gaines. But somebody walked into school, brought the Megatron gun from Japan, and I said, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, it was
And
metal.
it turned into a what? Gotta have it. So I had to have that, and that was in '84. So yeah, all of these kind of are that transition of 70s days with the Star Wars, the Adventure People. Whoa, what's He-Man? He's really different. But G.I. Joe, now that's a cool new look. But damn, these blew it out of the park because they were more than one thing. They were a puzzle. So that's my 5 to 1.
Beautiful. That looks like 2 Chuck Norrises on the left.
They do a bit. You're R.I.P. Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Real quick, my top 5. Marvel toys started getting real good with the Toy Biz. Gambit was my favorite one. Batman the Animated Series, I think, is the best Batman line at the time. Miniature play sets are my jam. I adore them. I just can't talk how much fun I had with those. My era Star Wars, Power of the Force, up until the prequels. Darth Maul was awesome, and then Turtles, of course. I mean, my whole toy collecting started again because of Turtles. So that's it. You got our top 10. Now we're going to go into your 5 to 1. Now, I forgot which one this was, but I'm going to apologize. I did blur out the
Uzi, oh, I forgot. Yeah. So that
I tried to explain to Victor. I was like, "Hey, these other streams got shut down because
that's
so
right. I'm
weird on my
sorry.
show.
I
just
didn't even
don't have
realize that,
issue.
man. So the
No.
Whammy,
It's still fun. When you put this on there, I was like, I can't wait to talk about it, but I did blur it.
So there was a summer where every single kid had a gun that looked like a real gun.
Oh, heck
Right?
yeah.
This is for real. This is not like I'm not being hyperbolic. We were all shooting each other with these amazing water guns that were battery operated that shot it out. You know, the Uzi like wasn't just a spray like a squirt gun. You know, the Super Soaker would just constant spray, right? Which is awesome. But this Uzi kind of like made a sound effect and it shot out like choo choo choo. It was very clever. And it would just create like these sporadic random water gun fights for a summer. And it was so much like you would have your guns on you like it was the Wild West, like you were Billy the Kid, and just start a water gun fight. And it was magical. It was really special. And of course, it got shut down because police were seeing kids strapped, and you know, rightfully so. You know,
Yeah.
It was very dangerous.
I think there was some incidents, right?
Yes, I don't know how
Yeah.
true they are, if they're like tall tales, but there was, you know,
I think
enough
there's
to
truth
shut it
to it,
down.
but they're so diluted, right?
And
There's some truth to it.
I don't think from a distance, like there was nothing separating these from the real thing.
Dude, it was great. They had magazines. The magazine held the water. It was so well thought out. And then we would take it a step further and get like camouflage gear and have like Rambo water gun fights. And it got me outside, and that's always a big thing with parents, and that's talked about today. You know, Super Soaker ruled, but
Well, I put Super Soaker here because what you grew up with that time, like when
Yeah.
that era ended, Laramie almost completely died.
yeah,
So they really needed to find something new when they finally
struck gold.
Yeah, when they got with it was like Dr. Johnson, and he made the Super Soaker.
Yeah,
So I mean, that was their bread and butter, was the realistic water gun. So I love that you had it on there. I never got to play with these, but like they were still making realistic shaped guns. But by
Yeah.
the time I came into playing with water guns, they were the same gun, but like half was neon pink and half was neon
yeah.
green. They still made the cool noise though. Like they didn't have like it made like a like noise.
That one in the bottom left, I think, did. The one that he has is strictly the pump. You know, I think there's a famous song, "Super Soak Them Hoes."
Super. I think that's Superman.
Yes, but no, water guns were. I mean, obviously, you don't put a water gun on your shelf or display or pose it, but water guns were just a fantastic part of my childhood, and it is a toy. So I had to just give some props to water guns.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think, I mean, obviously I grew up in the era of Super Soaker, but summers were just fucking awesome. Like, and if you, I know this is probably seen like movies or something, but we've all, did you guys do block parties where you're from?
Sure. Yeah.
That is like, does that happen anymore?
It's funny. I saw a video of a town where it said they still exist. So I hope so. You know, I imagine they do.
But like, my imagination goes like a bunch of kids running with these Laramie guns, and they turn a corner, and this other kid just has a fucking hose.
Yes.
Takes them all out.
Yeah. We would take it a step further. We would have balloons as like the grenades.
Water balloon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mentioned the mini play sets before. Speak for yourself, Gaines. All right.
Bronster's a nut.
All right.
Okay.
I'm super happy you put this on there.
So of course now as much as Power of the Force got me to like CVS stores and every Kmart looking for a new Star Wars toy, it really was seeing this. It's kind of MOTU-ish, but it's different. The comic was out. I had a job at the time. I was maybe 17, had a summer job, had my own money. This is one of the toys I bought with my own money as like a young adult. And I love the blister. I love the card. I love how it had a comic inside there. Todd really knocked it out of the park, first try. He had vehicles, he had play sets, he went all out. And I have these boxed still. I have the play sets boxed, I have the vehicles boxed, and I know he made a ton of them. They're not worth anything, but I don't care. I love these figures.
It's crazy. We saw this at the one awesome vintage toy we saw was this, and it was $15. And I was like, man, this should be like more money.
Well, he made a million of them, and I don't care that he overproduced them, because at least you could go to a comic shop and they were there.
He was available. Everybody.
Yeah.
That play set that came with this line of figures was a Crime Alley.
Yes, it's
That
awesome.
thing was fucking awesome. So cool. It was fun. I asked when we saw this, I said, Victor, do you know what this is? He's like, I remember when Spawn came out, because it was like focused towards a collector.
Yeah, that was what was unique. Was I was always paying attention. No matter how old I was, I'd go down toy aisles, and when I saw Spawn, I went, what's going on? What's this next evolution? What's happening to toy?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it anymore as a simple plaything. I saw Spawn when it first came out as there's something more to this.
Yeah, a little more.
Yeah, I didn't know what Spawn was. I didn't read the comic, but I didn't know where it came from. And getting it wasn't Mattel, it wasn't Hasbro, it wasn't. There was this. I don't know what's happening to the world. I didn't get into it that way at the time, but I knew something was happening.
Had a cool factor. I know that sounds cheesy, but it did. Todd tried to have an edge. He had these. If you see the commercial for this, it's super freaking cheesy. Do yourself a favor and go watch the Spawn commercial. It's so cheesy. And Todd thinks he's a badass, and he still does. And that's part of his charm, right? So it just had an edge. It was different. It was unlike anything. It was sort of MOTU, but sort of not. And I loved it.
I wish I could go back and apologize to a friend. I definitely stole that medieval Spawn from him. And
Confessions of a toy thief.
I remember feeling so bad that the next time I had like a play date at his house, I dropped it back off so he wouldn't know.
Oh, well, that was then you're all right. There's an episode of the Brady Bunch.
I don't need to get Edwin on you.
Oh shit.
Don't drink a shot.
We didn't get these, but again, I remember seeing them and they're friggin' awesome. And I remember going to summer camp and asking my mom to send me with some Spawn comics that I've never read. And I remember being in summer camp and I opened it up and there was like boobs. And then and I was like, holy shit, what is this?
Whoa, something is happening.
Yeah. Not where you want it to. I was so happy you put this on here.
This is great.
This
I
is
like that you put things other than action figures too. I think that was cool.
Well, this is the first system I bought with my own money, and I felt like I'm like a man. Like, I'm an adult now. I had to pick between PlayStation and Nintendo. I had so much money. I knew it was a big purchase, and I went with Nintendo because I was, a fanboy. I loved the way the controller looked goofy, and I made the right choice because it has the best wrestling games in Mario Kart and Star Fox and the Rumble Pack. And
oh my god, the Rumble Pack! I can't even. I just forgot about it till now.
Well, this
I'm not a video gamer. That's awesome.
This ate into my toy hunting because I love gaming. I love how it's a escape from reality. I love how I play games where you can sort of use your imagination, or you have to defeat puzzles. Like Ocarina of Time is probably one of the best games ever.
The only game I finished ever.
It's a wonderful experience, and this was, like I said, first system I bought with my own money. As an adult, I think I was 19, 20. So it's special to me. It always will be. And had to mention the Nintendo 64.
Yeah. This is my favorite system of all the better systems that have come out since. Graphics are better, whatever. Like, I don't care. This is still my favorite system ever by far.
So I will die on this hill. I don't care how advanced games get. The Mario 64, you could pick up and play it and have fun, and it's one of the best games of all time for that. It's almost I know they made Mario Sunshine and Galaxy. Mario 64 is still as great as a PlayStation was because of Final Fantasy and Resident Evil. they don't hold up in my opinion because the blocky graphics. The Mario 64 holds up still.
No, 100% agree. Never got a 2. That was always sad. I
Yes.
thought we would. There was that weird. It was supposed to be like an expansion thing. It was called like Dolphin, like Nintendo Dolphin.
Yeah, so Dolphin was going to run discs, and then they just nixed it.
Yeah.
And then the GameCube came out, and it took
Yeah.
too long. Yeah.
You mentioned wrestling games, so Stu says No Mercy.
No Mer-
4.
it's-
Man, that game so good.
So it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
And that around the time, this is when the internet was starting to get a little more fun. It wasn't so like I remember going on whatever website and you looking up the codes of how because I think No Mercy was the first one that let you design your characters.
Yes.
And
Well, I
I
don't know
remember
if it was the first, but I know you could, and I spent hours making all these wacky characters.
if it wasn't in there, like I built Ultimate Warrior, I built like all those other guys. That game was great, and it's so fun because that was a WCW game. Like it was a NWO versus the World or something. And then,
NWO World Tour,
yeah,
and WCW NWO Revenge, and then that company lost the license and then made No Mercy.
which I think
and
is
they're
what most
both
people
great.
wanted.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, I'm really happy you put this on there. I got excited when you sent me your list. I got excited about everything, but like this one in particular, I got super excited for.
I loved it. I love the system.
64 was awesome. Sitting around and having tournaments with your friends. Oh hell
And,
yeah!
and Jedi, that's a great point. And this is why PlayStation would piss me off. 4 controller ports. PlayStation,
Yep.
you had to buy that dopey multi-tap.
It was like a weird triangle thing.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah.
This thing was built for multiplayer.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, got Transformers.
Okay. This is my favorite Optimus Prime ever made. When I heard Toys R Us was going to put this exclusively in their store, this is something that I hunted. I went to every Toys R Us from North Jersey to upstate New York. And when I saw this on the shelf, it was magical, and this is the Optimus you showed in the beginning on my shelf, which I appreciate. That was very thoughtful. This is that Optimus that sits in the background. I love it because I'm sure there's better Optimuses that have been made, but I love the chunkiness of him, and he has that cartoon feel.
I got that one too. I did go to Target and I had it for years. I also like how he transformed.
Yes.
It was intuitive. He doesn't have the Svelte body, like you said, he's chunky, but I don't know. He just reminded me of my friend Optimus Prime when I was a kid.
I love this toy.
Was this 20th anniversary like just an Optimus, or did they do a few others?
I think they did.
Starscream?
I think Soundwave too, though, because I think so. They did. Wait, Soundwave, maybe Thundercracker and Starscream, though. They did the 3 jets too. I don't know. Good question. I know I do have
because Transformers came out in '84.
But then going back to like your backdrop, like that's part of the reason I like it too. Like I always think of like if you're gonna make your all-star, you pretty much have like the all-star of pop culture.
You gotta have Optimus,
right? And
have to have them.
I'm not a MOTU collector, Thundercats, or Transformers collector, but I need a version of each to put with my with my Leonardo, right? Like I need to create that shelf somewhere. That was one of the first things that draw me to you.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love his voice. I love the leadership. Him, Duke, Leo. I love the leaders. They're cheesy. They're Boy Scouts, but I love them.
That's cool. So, and Victor, you had this. You said, right?
I had that exact one too. I had it for years. I did sell it, but it just meant so much to me.
Yeah. And now this is current.
Love that you put this on there.
So that Warren Beatty film, it's not the greatest, but it's again, back to color. I love colors and toys and films. And what was cool about that movie, I think there's only 6 colors in it.
Yeah. The color palette was only it was 5 or 6 colors. Yeah,
it's brilliant. And then this new comic I'm reading, really good. It's just a great design. And if I had to pick 5 toys to keep forever and you have to sell everything else, if you know, some people they're purists and they don't get modern collecting. If you were to show them this Dick Tracy by Mezco, it's shades of Mego, it's shades of Applause when they did Dick Tracy, but in a modern sculpt, and it's absolutely perfect. I adore this freaking action figure.
Is this a new, what we're looking at? When was this put out?
2 years ago, I believe.
Because I am a huge fan of the film, and I do like to represent things that I'm emotionally connected to. I was very emotionally connected to Dick Tracy, but I thought the original toy line wasn't my thing. I didn't like its look. I didn't want
it. Was, yeah.
It was just underwhelming to me. That's all. So
Victor wants to buy it.
And I know Thomas loves it, and it was cool. I mean, the whole Breathless Mahoney thing was pretty great with the figure, but I love these so much. I love looking at it. The costume and makeup in Dick Tracy, like Flathead and
yeah,
oh my God, Prune Face, those,
yes,
brow, those I would like to see done really well. And this is
they've done 4 characters so far, right?
Have they?
They did Prune Face, Flat Top. No, 3. I think they're done.
No
and
blank.
I'm cool with that because they're expensive. Would I like to see more? Sure, but I do have the Applause. They made Applause makes, you need the doll stands because they're all loose and just
okay. I know which ones they are. I had a Breathless Mahoney of that.
Yeah, I do. I have all them, and I do like them too. But I just like Dick Tracy stuff. It's way before my time, but I still
absolutely
loved the design.
Yeah, I remember the figures before, like even knowing the story of the movie. But it looks like you said, it's that pop of color.
Yes,
as a little kid, like how do you make suits interesting?
Yes,
make them bright green, bright orange, bright pink.
So true.
Like,
luckily the villains had a little more character.
They did.
Blake, Toy Guy sent me you and me, baby.
Thank you, Blake. That's a Mego fan right there, Blake. I was just mentioning how these have a Mego charm, but in a modern toy, and Mezco really knocked these out of the park.
Did they make a blank, or are they making a blank?
They did. Oh, they made the blank too.
Oh,
I don't have the blank.
Does it have a removable head?
I have the entire Playmates line on card, and I also don't have the blank though.
But those vehicles were awesome too.
I have them. They're beautiful. Beautiful.
Gorgeous. This was your number 1. So, going from very top to now. Did you have fun tonight?
I did some memory lane stuff, man. And I think toys I'll be collecting until the day I leave this earth. Hopefully I'm like 90 collecting some wacky 80th version of Optimus and He-Man.
The 80th anniversary. And there you are going, I'm getting that for me.
Well, hey, I had so much fun. You shared some really cool stories, and I've watched a lot of your live streams. I don't know if I've heard those stories before, so I'm glad you shared them with us. But no, it was just really cool to kind of walk through that with you. And then I want you to get a chance. I know, you talked about Dragon Con before, but you got a big event coming up. So if I got the slide right from memory, there you go.
Hey, if you're in the upstate New York, tri-state area, Connecticut, northern New Jersey, eastern PA, we've worked our butts off to get good vendors, modern vintage video game accessories, about 150 tables.
Damn.
And what I like, and I'm not trying to, there's plenty of toy shows. You guys were at a show, and I don't know what I want to say here. I don't like doing an early bird. I want to keep it $5. If you get there at 8:45, I'll let you in, and you don't have to give me an extra $10 for it. And I take pride in that because, times are tough. And my hook for this show is if you come with $20, you're going to get in, see cool stuff, leave with a cool toy, and have a fun time. And I take a lot of pride in that.
Thanks for not bending people over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what year is this? How long has this been going on for?
Our first one was 2019, and I believe we got shut down because of we got 2020, and COVID shut us down. But then they allowed certain things to reopen, and we did it right after COVID in 2020 at a movie theater. And
cool.
It was very unique, but unfortunately that movie theater closed. You know, at that time we were able to run a few films that were like Night of Living Dead because it's public domain.
Yeah.
And so there was some romance there where you could like see toys and see a movie. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep it there. I think this is number 12. And it's
Nice.
stressful.
Good,
I'm not gonna lie. It's stressful because you want people to have a good time and you want people to come for your vendors, but it's usually pretty good.
That's awesome. And I only heard a little bit, but I think you and Jerk got some stuff planned. You're gonna do like a bunch of promos for it.
We're gonna make I hope they're not watching. Me and Jerk are gonna make a commercial and just make fun of all us goofball YouTube toy collectors that are gonna be there.
Nice. Don't worry, they're not watching.
No, they're probably because there's a lot of East Coast, Northeast toy collectors. We all just happen to meet each other, and so I let them vend here, and I give them deals because they're my friends now, and it's a cool thing.
I feel like 80% of you are in the Northeast, and then the rest of us are spread out.
That's the East Coast, man. Because you're in Florida, but you guys are on the East Coast. The East Coast, we have this toy thing locked down.
Hey, Matt, good luck with this. I wish I probably could have saved some money with MegaCon. Victor and I could have flown up for this.
Flown to New York.
Maybe if we take Victor to a real toy show, we'll make a trip out of it next year.
Hey, MegaCon used to be real.
Yeah.
Well, you'll find Mask at this show, I guarantee it.
That's it.
All right. Real quick, other than the toy show, if you have a website for that, send it over. I'll go ahead and just like link that up. But other than the toy show, what else you got going on?
Well, I love to spend money on toys, and there's something called Toy Con. So it's funny, at my show, I try not to spend a lot of money because I don't know, I need to make money that day. But just making videos, doing the Mega Powers podcast on Monday and Thursday, and playing a video game right now called Crimson Desert. So I don't, I still play games.
Which looks awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah. Victor, you're wondering who watches like a 2 or 2.5 hour podcast. Like I listen to your guys' podcast like late night is usually when I'm working out in my garage, and like I just keep you guys on, and so I feel part of the conversation. So
you are.
And it's fun. So Victor, if you're wondering who watches it, there's a lot of people that watch their show.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh no, there's hundreds. I see it all the time. I just wonder how they're engaged in it. Like I always look at ours too. Like, how are they staying engaged? We're not even talking to them. So
well, they most of the time our chat are just talking crap about us, but we invite it because we don't take ourselves serious. I really don't. I know sometimes people think we know too much or we critique stuff. We're just having fun, and it's it's all toys. If you would have told me my whole list sucked, I wouldn't have cared. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, now that it's over, you're but like Victor, like our chat is like I can click on every comment, right? Theirs is going like a mile a minute. Like you can't do that. Victor, what do you got going on?
I'm excited. If you like toys and want to look at them, but hear about something else and take a break, then Thursday night for the weekend, come check out the new show from the Gen Xperience. It is the top 10 musical hits from TV stars. So we're talking about during that time when Don Johnson, Bruce Willis, Vicki Lawrence all released top 10 singles. And were they really that good? So come watch.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is Heartbeat going to be on there from Don Johnson? Oh, baby. Looking for.
God, he's just cringy on stage, man. So, yes, we're looking at the top 10 TV stars who made a single. So come join.
I like that.
All right. Hey, Gaines, thank you again for hopping on. This was a lot of fun. You're invited back whenever you want. Just had a really great time, and love the stories you shared. Got to meet Victor, so really good to introduce you guys. And then, just really happy you were able to come on.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun.
You guys were great. I want to thank you for the kind words in the beginning. That meant a lot, man. And Victor for doing the show and having a family death and still coming on. That takes a lot of guts, and I want to thank you. You guys were great. Chat was great. The Raw Dogs who came, I want to thank you guys. Really, this means a lot to me. When I have bad days, as we all do, it picks me up. So Jesus Christ, I might shed a tear.
Oh,
there we go.
Right.
Well, hey everybody, it's
Thanks
Tuesday, it's early in the week. Hope you all have a good rest of the week. And until the next one, we'll catch you next time. So bye everybody.
See ya.